Surah Al-Mubarakat Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين شفيع المذنبين وخاتم النبيين نبينا وشفينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد وهو أصدق الصادقين وقوله الحق. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا فتحنا لك فتحا مبينا آمنا بالله وصدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. Respected scholars, elders of the community, my brothers and sisters in Islam, Salamun alaykum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is of course a very famous ayah of the Holy Quran that I have recited, and it is from Surah Fatha. It is the first ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna fatahna laka fatham mubina. This ayah, the meaning of this ayah is that indeed we have given you, O Muhammad, O the Holy Prophet, we have given you a clear victory, a manifest victory, a very important high-level victory. A manifest victory is what we have given you. And now you may think that this ayah may have been revealed after the Battle of Badr. Perhaps it was revealed after the Battle of Khandaq. Maybe it was revealed after the Battle of Khaybar. Maybe it was revealed after the Battle of Uhud, for even now there is controversy amongst the Muslims as to who won the Battle of Uhud. But this particular ayah was actually revealed after the Holy Prophet of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam signed a peace treaty. It was the peace treaty of Hudaybiyah. After he signed the peace treaty, that is when this particular ayah was revealed. We have given you, O Muhammad, a manifest victory. So today we want to talk about the concept of courage in Islam, the concept of bravery and courage in Islam. For tonight we dedicate this majlis to none other than Abu al-Fadl Abbas salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. There is no better person who can demonstrate to us what is the meaning of courage in Islam. We dedicate it to him today, for we remember this great personality. You know, after the wafat of Fatimah al-Zahra, salamullahi alayha, you know that Amirul Mu'mineen, he went to Aqil, right? He went to his brother Aqil, who was an expert in genealogy. And he went to him and he said, I'm looking for a partner who would give me a son who is courageous, who has courage. And because Aqil was an expert in genealogy, that is why Imam Ali went to him. He was looking for a son who was courageous. Now, if you reflect on this for a moment, why did Imam do this? Imam Ali alayhi salam, he knew, right, that his son will not even fight in Karbala. He knew this. There are so many traditions from the time of the Prophet when Imam Hussein alayhi salam was born, how many times the Holy Prophet communicates to Amirul Mu'mineen and Fatimah al-Zahra about what is going to happen in Karbala. Imam knew that his son was not going to fight in Karbala. So why is he going and asking for a partner who would give him a courageous son? He already had another son who was very courageous. He had Muhammad Hanafiya. Muhammad Hanafiya was a warrior. If you look at the history with Muhammad Hanafiya, he was strong, he was brave. There is an incident where he is in front of Muawiyah and he tears apart a sheet of steel right in front of Muawiyah. So he already had a son who was brave, who was courageous. Contrary to mainstream belief, Amirul Mu'mineen was not looking for a son who was just a warrior. He was not looking for a son who was just physically strong, because he knew that Abul Fadl Abbas would not even fight in Karbala. He would not even be allowed to fight in Karbala. But rather he was looking for a son who was going to be the partial manifestation of Amirul Mu'mineen in Karbala. He was not looking for just a physically courageous son. He was looking for a son who was going to be spiritually courageous. Spiritually courageous. Because Aba Abdullah al-Hussein was a manifestation of the Holy Prophet in Karbala. Ali was looking for a son like Abul Fadl Abbas, who was going to be his manifestation in Karbala. He was looking for a son who was just not physically courageous, but who was spiritually courageous as well. So when we talk about courage, like everything else, courage in Islam and bravery, shuja'at is what it is called, right? Courage and bravery has different levels. It has many levels, and we need to understand the levels. The lowest level of courage is related to the physical strength of somebody. You call somebody brave and courageous when they are able to manifest and display their physical strength. That is the lowest level of courage. But the higher level of courage, the second level of courage in Islam, relates to your ability to control your nafs. Your ability to control your inner self, to control your nafs, is a higher level of courage. The Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has a hadith that says that the stronger person is one who can control his desires. That is the courageous person, the Holy Prophet says, is one who can control his desires. And it is obvious that if you need to control your desires, you cannot do so without making your desires submissive to your wisdom and to your intellect, to your aql. Without that, you cannot control your desires. That's a higher level of courage. In Islamic ethics, courage is not defined by physical strength. Courage in Islamic ethics means to have control over one's emotions and over one's feelings, and to use them for the right cause at the right time. That's courage in Islam. A person who relies on his physical strength and cannot control his emotions is not a courageous person in Islam. Rather, he is a foolhardy person in Islam. And this is when a group of believers, after they had gone through a major battle, they returned after victory at that battle. They returned back, and the Holy Prophet welcomed them and said to them and congratulated them and said to them, "Welcome back. I congratulate you for winning this battle, which was your minor jihad. Now prepare yourself for the major jihad." The believers looked at the Prophet and they said to the Prophet, "Prophet, we were just at the battlefield. It was not easy. It was really hard. like we really fought. We almost killed ourselves, we almost died. We've come back and now we are saying this was just a minor jihad. You prepare now for the major jihad. What is this major jihad that you're talking about? And the Holy Prophet said that this that you did was the minor jihad. The major jihad is your ability to struggle and control your nafs. That's your major jihad. Your fight against your own illegitimate desires is the major jihad. The story is a story of the Holy Prophet. Once he was passing by and there were some youths, who were exercising and they were weightlifting. There were some youths, they were exercising, they were doing some resistance exercising, right? Resistance exercises, pumping some iron, right? Building their bodies, right? And they were doing that and the Holy Prophet passed by them, so he stopped. And he said to them, he gathered them around because it was the Holy Prophet. The youths always were mesmerized by him. So they gathered around, the Holy Prophet stopped and he said to them, do you want me to tell you what is courage? And the youth said to the Holy Prophet, absolutely, Bala ya Rasulullah, please tell us what is courage. He said, look, I will tell you who is really a brave person. He says that the most brave and the most courageous person is one who, when he is blessed with the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the joy and the happiness he feels after he gets the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not take him into the disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After he gets the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he does not become so happy that he starts to sin. He does not become such that he starts to become proud, that he starts to become arrogant, that he starts to show off, that he starts to have self-conceit. That's a courageous person. And then he says that also, do you know that when that person is tested with adversities, that person who's tested with calamities, he does not become so sad that he loses hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and becomes heedless of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's a courageous person. And then he said the same person, when he attains power and he gets strength and he becomes a powerful person, he has a position in society, he does not become an oppressor and starts to try to attain those things that are not his. That is courage, my friends. So go ahead, pump the iron, but remember what true courage is. So that's the second level of courage. The level where you control your nafs. You develop a moral and ethical framework within yourself. Controlling that nafs is a higher level of courage. But then there is a higher level of courage than that. And the highest level of courage, which is even higher, is when someone has the ability to do something. When somebody has the ability to do something, yet he refrains himself from doing it for the sake of a higher spiritual goal. The person has the ability to intervene. He has the ability to take action, but he refrains from taking that action because of achieving a higher spiritual goal. This kind of bravery is highly admirable. It's the highest level of courage. And this is the level that you see in Abul Fadl Abbas. Look at how Abul Fadl Abbas manifests the courage of Amirul Mu'mineen in Karbala. Look at how he does it. You know, Amirul Mu'mineen salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, he fights against Amr bin Abdawad in Khandaq, yeah? You know the story. It's been relayed, it is in every madrasa book, right? He fights against Amr bin Abdawad, who spits on the face of Amirul Mu'mineen. Yes? Now, you know, this particular story is very important. We just skimmed through it, even in madrasa. This has a very deep philosophical meaning to it. Amr bin Abdawad was no ordinary person. He was the greatest and the bravest and the most courageous person from the physical perspective in Arabia at that time. When people would hear the name of Amr bin Abdawad, they would start to tremble. He was the one who would be able to lift a child of a camel in one hand. This is Amr bin Abdawad. And Amr bin Abdawad, you know, says to the people that, who is it amongst you that will come and fight me? And he says to the Muslims, oh Muslims, come and fight me. It's a win-win situation for you. You can't lose in this. Because if you fight me and you kill me, then I'm a bad person, so I need to die anyway. You'll go to Jannah. If I kill you, you'll become a martyr. You'll still go to Jannah. It's a win-win. Come and fight me. And the history says that nobody wanted to fight Amr bin Abdawad. The history says that nobody wanted to challenge. When the Holy Prophet stood up and said, who is it from amongst you that will go and fight Amr bin Abdawad? History says that they were sitting so still that if there had been a pigeon on their head, the pigeon would not have flown away. You know, in Africa, you'll see this, right? The pigeons are those that you make a slight movement and they fly away. The people stood so still, they did not want to make any movement that the Prophet would say, yes, you go. So still. One man gets up, Ana ya Rasulallah. I will go and fight. And the Holy Prophet says, sit down. And he says again, will anybody go to fight? Nobody stands up. He stands up, Ana ya Rasulallah. I will go and fight. And the Holy Prophet says, sit down. And for the third time, the Holy Prophet invites people. Nobody stands up. Ana ya Rasulallah, I will go. At that time, the Holy Prophet says, look, now look, kulle iman is going to fight against kulle kufr. Amirul Mu'mineen. In that heat of the moment, as he is fighting with Amr bin Abdawad, he is fighting with this great warrior. He's about to strike him and behead him. At that particular moment, Amr bin Abdawad spits on the face of Amirul Mu'mineen. What does Amirul Mu'mineen do? He backs off. He backs off and he does not kill him at that time. Until that time passes, and he then waits and waits. And then he starts the fight again. Tell me one thing. If Amirul Mu'mineen would have killed Amr bin Abdawad, what would have been the big deal? He was supposed to die anyway. It's a big deal, man. He would have killed him. But Amirul Mu'mineen wanted to show what courage is. Courage is that act that even when you can carry out that act, the highest level of courage, even when you can carry out something, you can carry out that act. Amirul Mu'mineen could have finished off Amr bin Abdawad, yet he wants to show you real courage is you refrain from it because to achieve a higher spiritual goal. Killing Amr bin Abdawad at that time would have been a result of the anger of Amr bin Abdawad spitting on the face of Ali. He says, no, Ali does not do anything for he sees God before it and during it and after it. To act in accordance with the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, despite having strong emotions to the contrary. In the same way, in Karbala, you see Abul Fadl Abbas. Ready to fight psychologically, he is ready. Emotionally, he is ready. but he controls himself. He does not fight because the Imam asks him to refrain from fighting. Being able to refrain and retain yourself from committing an act. This is the brave man, Abul Fadl Abbas. People used to be scared of this person. Emotionally he was ready. Psychologically he was ready. But refraining from carrying out an act to achieve a higher spiritual goal, that is courage. Courage. For 25 years, Amirul Mu'mineen does not fight even after his right is taken away. He controls himself for the safety and security of Islam. In the same way, Abbas understands that his life and his sacrifice is crucial for the salvation of Islam. And so he does not fight. He refrains himself. He does not express that physical strength. He controls himself in Karbala. This is courage. This is why he is a manifestation of Amirul Mu'mineen in Karbala. Our sixth Imam, Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, he says about Abul Fadl Abbas, in one of the ziyarats of the sixth Imam of Hazrat Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam, he says, Ashhadu laka bi taslimi wa tasdiqi wal wafa. Look at the statement of the sixth Imam. This is a statement of an Imam. It's not a joke. Ashhadu laka bi taslimi wa tasdiqi wal wafa. It's Imam alayhi salam has outlined 3 characteristics of Abul Fadl Abbas. He says the 3 characteristics are taslim, tasdeeq, and wafa. What is taslim? In order to understand taslim, the level of taslim, it is important to understand that first there is the level of tawakkul. Tawakkul, which means that a person wishes that Allah does what he wants. That is tawakkul. He wants something, he performs an act, and then he does tawakkul to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hoping that Allah will do whatever he wants. That is tawakkul. But then there is a higher stage than tawakkul, which is called the stage of rida. The stage of rida, here now he wishes for him only that which Allah wishes for him. Now does not have a wish and he hopes that Allah will have the same wish. Here he wishes what Allah wishes for him. So if Allah wishes something for him, he's happy with that, he's content with that wish. That is the level of rida. But even in that level of rida, there is still some selfness involved, isn't it? Because he's still wishing what Allah is wishing. There is still some selfness that is involved. But the highest level is the level of taslim. In taslim, there is no wish in this person at all. Here, the individual is so submissive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's so dissolved in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that he has no awareness of himself at all. All he is seeing is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no wish in him at all. He is dissolved in God. He is so submissive and immersed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the level of Abul Fadl Abbas. This is what the sixth Imam is saying. This is the level of taslim that Abbas has. And then the next characteristic that Imam identifies in this ziyarat is tasdeeq. What is tasdeeq? Tasdeeq is that level of understanding, that level of ma'arifah of wilaya. That is tasdeeq. And you see this in Abu Fadl Abbas. His real bravery is not fighting in the battle of Karbala. Rather, he shows his real bravery in refraining himself from fighting at different stages, thereby manifesting this quality of tasdeeq as outlined by the sixth Imam. It was his awareness of imama and wilaya which caused him to refrain from his personal desires in submission, absolute submission to the wali and the imam of his time. This is Abbas. The level of tasdeeq. It's very tough, It's very tough for a warrior when a person is that physically prepared, emotionally prepared, psychologically prepared, and then to tell that person to not fight is not easy for that person. It's hard. But look at his ma'arifah, his understanding and appreciation of imama and wilaya, that his submission to the wali is at such a level, a high level of courage, which comes with this level of tasdeeq, fully committed to the imam. And that's why Abu Abdullah Imam al-Hussein says, he says, O people, Allah did not create creatures except that you know Him. The purpose that we have is to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to have the ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For the Imam says that once they know Him, then they will truly worship Him. Once they know Allah, that's when they will truly worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? Otherwise it becomes a worship of rituals. Once you have ma'rifah, people say, I pray, but I don't feel, any happiness in praying. There is no joy in praying. It's just a burden, right? Prayer has become a vyadi, right? Jaldi namaz padhi le to ek vyadi ochi thai jai, right? That's what we say, right? It's become a burden. The reason is there is no ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For Abu Abdullah is saying that if you have ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you will truly worship Him in the way He needs to be worshipped. And then he says, and through worshipping Him with ma'rifah, you will not worship anybody else. So a man asks Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, he says, Yabna Rasulullah, tell me, what is this ma'rifah of God? How do I get this understanding and appreciation of God? And Imam says that it is knowing of the people of the time. For every people of their time is for them to know the reality of the Imam. To have ma'rifah of the Imam and to be in the obedience of the Imam will give you ma'rifah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. And this is what you see in Abbas. At all times, he is with Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. No questions are asked. Imam Hussein tells him to do something, he does it. There is nowhere in history that you will find that Imam says to Abu Fadl Abbas that I don't want you to go and fight, and he argues with the Imam and tries to present a case that no, I have to fight. I'm ready. I'm psychologically ready. I'm emotionally ready. I can kill all of these guys. He doesn't say that. There is no question. He is at all times with the Imam, completely submissive to the Imam. It's not easier to be with somebody unconditionally. It's not easy. If you don't believe me, ask Musa when he was with Khizr. Yeah, Surah Kahf. It's not easy to be unconditionally with somebody, right? At every step, he was told, don't ask anything. But every step, Musa is asking. A kem kairo, O kem thiu, A shamate kairo. Every step of the way, why did you do this? What was the point in doing this? Why have you done this? It is very hard to be with somebody unconditionally. But Abbas is at that peak of tasdeeq, that he is completely with the Imam at all times. And one of the lessons that we learn from Abul Fadl Abbas is that sometimes courage at the highest level can be in the form of silence. Silence, because that's going to be able to, for you to achieve a higher spiritual goal. The ability to speak and to intervene is there, but to refrain from it for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is courage. The third characteristic that Imam says in this ziyarah of Abul Fadl Abbas is wal wafa, loyalty. We do not say that Abbas is loyal. No. Abbas is not loyal. Abbas is loyalty. If you want to measure loyalty, the yardstick by which you measure loyalty is Abbas. He is loyalty himself. Right? You know, when this qafila of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein was brought in the darbar of Yazid, a wretched man like Yazid, a wretched man like Yazid, he sees the alam of Abbas. Listen to this carefully, especially those who don't want alams. He sees, Yazid sees the alam of Abul Fadl Abbas. He goes up to the alam, he looks at it, he sits down. And then he stands up again. He looks at the alam, he examines it, he sits down. The third time he gets up, he looks at the alam, and then he says, whose alam is this? And the people say that this is the alam of Abul Fadl Abbas. And Yazid says that look at this alam. He's saying to his people in the darbar, he says, look at this alam, for you will see that the alam at the place where the alam was held, look at that. He says that the entire alam is damaged, except for the place where the arms and the hands of Abbas was holding the alam. That side of it is as good as it is new. He says that you had to sever his arms from his body because he would not let go of that alam. And then Yazid says, هَكَذَا يَكُونُ الْوَفَى. Yazid, هَكَذَا يَكُونُ الْوَفَى. This is loyalty. This is loyalty. Abul Fadl Abbas. Abbas is always with the wali. He's always with the Imam. Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He is a reflection of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. He is the mirror image of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. And if you don't believe me, go and stand in Baynul Haramain. You will see that even today, he is the mirror image of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Abbas. Salawat pa Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And this is why we give this alam such reverence and such importance. For it is the symbol of the importance of holding on to an unconditional following of the Imam and the Wali of the time. That's Abbas. That's what the importance of the alam is. The alam is min sha'air Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, وَمَنْ يُؤَذِّمْ ذَلِكَ وَمَنْ يُؤَذِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. It is min sha'air Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, respect and revere the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For those signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take you so close that you will have taqwa, not just superfluous taqwa, taqwa deeply entrenched in your heart, taqwa al-qulub, min sha'air Allah. When you look at that flag of Abbas, you see that there is a mushk always that is attached to it. And I salute this community, wallah, that they have a zari of Abul Fadl Abbas. You see that, the flag of Abbas, the alam of Abbas, has always a mushk that is attached to it, right? It reminds us, it needs to remind us of the loyalty of Abbas to Hussein and his children. That flag challenges us to be loyal and true to our faith and the values of our faith. It urges the followers of Abbas to stand up against oppression, tyranny, injustice, in whatever shape or form that we see in our own time. That's the symbol of the alam. Don't think of the alam as just a piece of wood and some cloth on it. For thinking of the alam in that way is that you have not understood the essence of alam. You are looking at what it is made of, just the same way as Adam looked at, just the same way as Shaitan looked at Adam. What did Shaitan say? When Allah asked everybody to prostrate to Adam, Shaitan refused. What did he say? خَلَقْتَنِي مِن نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِن طِينٍ. I am made of fire and he is made of clay. How can I prostrate to him? He is looking at what Adam is made of. Don't look at what the alam is made of. Look at what it is ascribed to. The sajda to Adam was not a sajda to Adam. It was ascribed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The alam is a challenge for us. What does this alam ascribe to? If it ascribes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and standing up against oppression, being loyal, having those virtuous values the same as Abul Fadl Abbas, then وَمَنْ يُؤَذِّمْ ذَلِكَ مِنْ شَآئِرِ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. Then revere it, respect it, and do it in such a way that it will take you close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The fourth Imam, Imam Zainul Abidin, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, he says that on the day of Qiyamah, the martyrs, on the day of Qiyamah, the shuhada of all time, the shuhada will be envious and in awe. They will be overwhelmed. They will be envious of the station of Abbas. Why? Abbas did not even fight in Karbala. Why will the martyrs be in awe of the station of Abbas? The reason is that Abbas showed true martyrdom by following the commands of the Imam. And that's what we learn from this personality. The Holy Quran talks about this famous ayah that you probably have just heard a few weeks ago, right? The ayah of Mubahila, right? قل تعالوا ندعو أبناءنا وأبناءكم ونساءنا ونساءكم وأنفسنا وأنفسكم. In Mubahala, when it comes time for taking the nafs of the Holy Prophet, he takes Amirul Mu'mineen with him. He does not take anybody else. He only takes Amirul Mu'mineen. Why Ali only as the nafs? This shows that the Prophet considered Ali as his nafs. Only Ali had the qualification of nafs because Ali ibn Abi Talib was a part of the Holy Prophet. He was the batin of Nabuwah. He was the secret of Nabuwah. He was the essence of Nabuwah. So the Holy Prophet says that I'm only going to take this man. Why? Because he is nafs Rasul. He is my nafs. He is the part of me. That's why he takes him. The sixth Imam, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam, what happened? When he was asked by his other son, he had another son by the name of Abdullah. When Abdullah asked him that why do you give the seventh Imam, Imam Musa ibn Jafar alayhi salam said, why do you give him more importance than me? Even I am your son, but you give more importance to Musa ibn Jafar, the seventh Imam. The answer of the sixth Imam to his son Abdullah is, he says, listen, Anta ibni. He says, you are my son. Wahuwa min nafsi. But he is my nafs. And in Karbala, we have a beautiful narration where Imam Hussein alayhi salam calls Abul Fadl Abbas. He says, bin nafsi ya Abbas. Bin nafsi. You are a part of me. You are the essence of Imam. You are the batin, just like Ali is bin nafsi Rasulullah. Hussein says to Abbas, bin nafsi ya Abbas. This is Abbas. The level is equal almost. Of course, not at the level of Imama, but a very high level. A high enough level for Hussein to say, bin nafsi ya Abbas. On the day of judgment, Fatima Zahra, salamullahi alayha, recite another salawat for Janab Fatima Zahra. Recite another salawat. On the day of judgment, Fatima Zahra, salamullahi alayha, will be given the authority to do shafa'at, yes? To do intercession for us. Fatima Zahra will be given the authority to do intercession. And on the day of Qiyamah, she will be asked, for the intercession of Fatima, what have you brought? What have you brought so that you can have intercession for the believers? And Fatima will say that I have brought the arms of Abbas as a means for the shafa'at. I have brought the arms of Abbas. It's not an ordinary personality. Courage at the highest level, manifested by this man in Karbala. Wallahi, if we only knew that you have a problem, give the wasila of Babul Hawaij, Abul Fadl. See what this man can do. See what power he has. For on the day of Ashura, he asks permission to go into the battlefield. Allahu Akbar. And Imam Hussein says to Abul Fadl, oh Abul Fadl, how can I give you permission? You are the leader of my army. Abul Fadl Abbas looks back and he says, oh my master, oh Aka, there is no army left. Who am I to lead, for everybody has been martyred? And Abu Abdullah says to Abul Fadl, oh Abul Fadl, the daughters of the Prophet left Medina as they felt secure that you were with them, O Abbas. If you were to go away, if you were to be martyred, what would happen to the women folk who left Medina? They would have nobody for them. At that time, Janab Sakina comes to Abul Fadl, and she comes to Abul Fadl with a dried musk, with a dried water container, and she says to her uncle, she says, "Oh my uncle, my 6-month-old baby, my 6-month-old brother Aliyun al-Asghar is dying of thirst. He has only a few moments left. Oh uncle, can you try and bring some water for the children?" Abul Fadl Abbas embraces and hugs Sakina, and he says to Sakina, "Sakina, I will try my best." He comes to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein with Sakina, and he says to Abu Abdullah, "Mawla, I can now not bear to see the thirst of the children, and so let me at least go and bring some water." He says, "I think Asghar is on the verge of death." Hussein looks at Sakina, and he says to Sakina, "Sakina, be careful for what you ask in Karbala, for today you will lose your brother and I will lose my brother." Azadaro, Abbas, Abul Fadl Abbas gets permission to go to the river of Furat to get water for the children folk. And the army of Yazid, as Abbas approaches, the army of Yazid separates in the same way that Musa separates the river. The army of Yazid separates. Abbas enters the river of Furat. He takes some water in his hand. Look at the loyalty of Abbas. He looks at the water, but then he remembers the thirst of Sakina. He remembers the thirst of Aliyun al-Asghar. He throws the water back into the river. He starts to fill the musk of Sakina. He fills the musk of Sakina, and he starts to make his way back towards the Khaymagah. In the Khaymagah, Sakina is waiting outside the tents. She gathers all the small children and she gives them small cups. She gives them little cups, and she says to the children, "Gather around me, hold these cups in your hand, for momentarily my uncle Abbas is going to bring some water." Abul Fadl Abbas is making his way back. As just he is making his way back, he is praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, "Oh Allah, give me strength that I can take this water back to the Khaymagah." Sakina sees the alam being raised. She says, "Alhamdulillah, my uncle is coming. Oh children, it is just a few moments now. You will all be quenched with your thirst." At that time, a mal'oon comes and he severs the left arm of Abbas. The alam falls onto the ground. Sakina looks at the alam fall. She says, "Ya Allah." Abbas gathers the musk of Sakina. He gathers the musk of Sakina. He's praying that I need to get to the Khaymagah. He raises the alam again. Sakina looks at the alam. She says, "Alhamdulillah, Abbas is coming towards the Khaymagah." Another mal'oon comes. He severs the right hand of Abbas. The alam falls again. Sakina says, "Ya Allah." The alam has fallen again. Abbas starts to gather himself. He takes the musk. He balances the musk on his body between himself and the horse. Umar ibn Sa'd comes to Hurmala and he says to Hurmala, "Hurmala, no way should the water reach the tents of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein." The historians write that Hurmala fires 2 arrows. One arrow pierces the musk of Sakina. The other arrow pierces the eye of Abbas. Water starts to pour from the musk of Sakina. Blood starts to pour from the eye of Abbas. Azadaro, Abul Fadl Abbas is now struck on the head. The alam is on the ground. Abul Fadl Abbas comes onto the burning fields of Karbala. This time he does not call out to Abu Abdullah. He does not call out for help. He just says, "Assalamu alayka ya Mawla." "Oh my master, my farewell salams to you." When Hussein hears this, when Hussein hears when Hussein hears the cry of Abul Fadl Abbas, he falls onto the ground and somebody says to Abu Abdullah, oh Abu Abdullah, what has happened to you? Hussein says, my brother has been martyred in Karbala. Azadaran Hussein, Abbas jab ghore se zameen pe aaye hai, Abbas ne Abu Abdullah Hussein ko madad ke liye nahi bulaya hai, صرف ایک سلام کیا ہے, السلام علیک یا مولا. حسین نے جب صدائے عباس سنی ہے, ایک مرتبہ حسین زمین پہ گر گئے. کسی نے پوچھا آقا کیا ہوا, کیا کوئی تیر لگا؟ حسین نے کہا نہیں, تیر نہیں لگا, میرا عباس شہید ہو رہا ہے. عزاداران حسین اب زمام الحسین ابو الفضل عباس کے پاس آ رہے ہیں. مولا جب بھی کوئی شہید کے پاس جاتے تھے یا تو چل کے جاتے تھے یا پھر دوڑ کے گئے ہیں. کل آپ نے سنا جب قاسم نے بلایا ہے تو امام تیزی کے ساتھ قاسم کے پاس آئے تھے, لیکن اللہ اکبر جب ابو الفضل عباس کی صدا امام کی آواز میں گونجی ہے تو مورخ لکھتے ہیں کہ امام کس طرح سے ابو الفضل عباس کے پاس پہنچے ہیں. مورخ کہتے ہیں زانو بزانو امام حسین علیہ السلام ایڑیا رگر رگر کے عباس کے پاس پہنچے ہیں. عزادارو ایک مرتبہ جب عباس کے پاس پہنچے ہیں, غازی کے سر کو اٹھایا, اپنی گود میں رکھا, کہتے ہیں کیا بات ہے عباس؟ عباس کوئی وصیت ہے؟ عباس نے کہا آقا دو وصیتیں ہیں. کہو عباس کیا وصیت ہے؟ عباس نے کہا پہلی وصیت یہ ہے کہ 32 سال آپ کی غلامی میں گزارے ہیں. آقا اگر غلام سے کوئی بھول اگر غلام سے کوئی بھول ہو گئی ہو تو معاف کرنا. یہ ایک طاہر نفس بول رہی ہے. امام طرف کے کہتے ہیں عباس تجھ جیسا بھائی تو کسی پیغمبر کو بھی نصیب نہیں ہوا ہے. اور دوسری وصیت کیا ہے؟ امام حضرت عباس امام کو کہتے ہیں آقا میری لاش خیمے میں نہ لے جانا, میری لاش خیمے میں نہ لے جانا. اس کی دو وجہ ہے. پہلی وجہ یہ ہے کہ آپ سے اٹھی نہیں جائے گی, آپ میری لاش کو اٹھا نہیں سکیں گے. اور دوسری وجہ یہ ہے کہ اگر میری لاش خیمے میں آئی اور سکینہ نے پوچھا چچا جان میرا پانی کہاں ہے, کیا میرے لیے پانی لائے ہو, تو عباس طرف جائے گا. عزادارو حسین عباس کے گھوڑے کو لے کر جب خیمے گاہ کی طرف آیا ہے, ایک مرتبہ سکینہ نے دیکھا کہ چچا کا گھوڑا آیا ہے لیکن چچا نہیں آئے ہیں. فرات کی طرف رخ کیا, ایک مرتبہ کہا چچا جان اگر زندہ ہو تو لوٹ جاؤ, سکینہ کو پانی نہیں چاہیے. عزادارو آج رونے کی رات ہے, واللہ آج رونے کی رات ہے. آج اگر جب آنکھوں میں سے آنسو آئے تو ایک وسیلہ عباس کا دے کے اپنی حاجتوں کو مانگ لینا. خدا کی قسم اللہ آپ کی حاجتوں کو پوری کرے گا. عزادارو آخری مصائب پڑھ رہا ہوں, آخری مصائب پڑھ رہا ہوں. عزادارو جب یہ لوٹا ہوا قافلہ مدینے واپس آیا ہے تو ام البنین ایک مرتبہ آگے بڑھتی ہے. جناب زینب یہاں ایک جگہ پہ بیٹھ گئی ہے. قافلہ مدینہ واپس آیا ہے کربلا کے بعد. جب مدینہ آیا ہے ام البنین آگے آتی ہے, جناب زینب کے قریب بیٹھ جاتی ہے. ایک مرتبہ جناب زینب کو ام البنین کہتی ہے شہزادی ایک سوال کرنا چاہتی ہوں. زینب نے کہا ہاں اماں کیا بات ہے؟ ام البنین کہتی ہے شہزادی کیا تم مجھے یہ بتا سکتی ہو کہ آپ مجھے یہ بتا سکتے ہو کہ میرا عباس کیسے شہید ہوا۔ عزاداروں، ام البنین نے عجیب سوال کیا ہے، جناب زینب کو پوچھ رہی ہے کہ کیا مجھے بتا سکتے ہو کہ میرا عباس کیسے شہید ہوا؟ عزاداروں، اب زینب ذاکرہ ہے، ام البنین عزادار ہے۔ زینب ذاکرہ ہے، ام البنین عزادار ہے۔ زینب نے کہا اماں، عباس پانی لینے کے لیے فرات کے کنارے گیا۔ اب ام البنین رو رہی ہے۔ پھر زینب نے کہا عباس نے مشکیزہ سکینہ کو بھرا۔ ام البنین رو رہی ہے۔ پھر زینب نے کہا اماں، جب عباس خیمہ کی طرف واپس آ رہے تھے تو کسی ملعون نے عباس کے دائیں ہاتھ کو شہید کیا۔ ام البنین رو رہی ہے۔ پھر زینب نے کہا عباس کے کسی بائیں ہاتھ بھی شہید ہوا۔ ام البنین رو رہی ہے۔ پھر زینب نے کہا اماں، حرملہ نے 2 تیر کا وار کیا ہے، ایک تیر عباس کی آنکھ میں پیوست ہوا، ایک تیر مشک سکینہ میں پیوست ہوا۔ ام البنین رو رہی ہے۔ پھر زینب نے کہا کہ آنکھ سے خون بہنے لگا، مشک سے پانی بہنے لگا۔ ام البنین رو رہی ہے۔ پھر زینب نے کہا ماں، پھر کسی نے عباس کے سر پہ وار کیا، عباس گھوڑے سے زمین پہ گرے۔ بس یہ کہنا تھا۔ ام البنین نے ایک مرتبہ چلا کے کہا شہزادی، اس کے آگے کچھ نہیں سننا چاہتی، اس کے آگے کچھ مت بولنا۔ زینب نے کہا کیا بات ہے اماں؟ ام البنین کہتی ہے شہزادی میرا ایک ہی سوال ہے۔ کیا سوال ہے؟ ام البنین کہتی ہے شہزادی، جب کوئی شہید گھوڑے سے زمین پہ گرتا ہے تو اپنے ہاتھوں کا سہارا لیتا ہے۔ ہائے میرا عباس گھوڑے سے زمین پہ کیسے گرا ہوگا؟ بس یہ سننا تھا۔ زینب نے کہا اماں، عباس گھوڑے سے زمین پہ اسی طرح سے گرا ہے جیسے زینب اونٹ سے گری ہے۔ عباس کے دونوں بازو شہید تھے، عباس منہ کے بل گرا ہے، زینب کے دونوں ہاتھ پسے گردن بندھے ہوئے تھے۔ جب زینب اونٹ سے گری ہے وہ بھی منہ کے بل گری ہے۔ یا عباس، یا عباس، یا عباس۔
ہو گئے بازو کلم مشکی بچائی نہ گئی، ہو گئے بازو کلم مشکی بچائی نہ گئی، پیاس سکا سے سکینہ کی بجھائی نہ گئی، جانے کیا کہہ گئے بھائی سے علمدار جری، جانے کیا کہہ گئے بھائی سے علمدار جری، لاش عباس کی سرور سے اٹھائی نہ گئی، لاش اندھیرے میں سکینہ کی تھی محتاج کفن، لاش اندھیرے میں سکینہ کی تھی محتاج کفن، شمع تک شام کے زنداں میں جلائی نہ گئی، ہو گئے بازو کلم مشکی بچائی نہ گئی. کربلا سے ہے بہت دور سکینہ کا مزار. آج تک باپ سے بیٹی کی جدائی نہ گئی. آج تک باپ سے بیٹی کی جدائی نہ گئی. بازوئے شاہ میں ایک تیر تھا ہاتھ اٹھ نہ سکے. بازوئے شاہ میں ایک تیر تھا ہاتھ اٹھ نہ سکے. لاش اصغری کی کلیجے سے لگائی نہ گئی. ہو گئے بازو قلم مشکی بچائی نہ گئی. ختم